Hey guys, first fan of the night.
First fan of the night.
And as always, I have to try to remember to do my commercial break. If you want to see exclusive behind-the-scenes footage with me and Pete and more, as well as music stuff and what else, go to patreon.com/dspiffy. So, what we have is this is fan 2 of 2 of the first set of gold lines, or more accurately, fan 2 of 5 of the whole entire gold line haul. Or we could even say fan 2 of 7 of all the fans that came in together, which would include that one there that we are going to do probably sometime tonight, I'm guessing, and that one there, which we're going to do in the future once it's finished.
Yeah.
Those will be, you'll see them when they pop up. Yep. One is very expected, and I'm sure the other one is not. So, Pete and I have talked at great length about how much we love Union gold lines. You know, Envirofan still makes the gold line today, but they use a Chinese factory. Before that, they used the Taiwan factory, and this was the Hong Kong factory, which was Union, aka Evergo. Pete and I, you agree with me, right, that the Taiwan ones are the best performers?
I believe so, yeah.
Never seen one fail. No matter, even I've seen some that have been filled with water, electrified, and they still didn't fail. Yeah. I've never seen a Chinese one failed, actually, other than like occasional like wonky bearings or something. Have you ever seen a Chinese one failed?
No.
Yeah. So it's just
at New Berlin Pick and Save, I've seen some that aren't running, but
they could be off. They could have balloons in them.
I don't see any balloons, but they just could just not be running. Maybe no power is applied to them.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, yeah, the Union ones, on the other hand, were just a lot of companies used Union as their supplier in the 70s, and most of those companies switched away from Union because of their quality control issues. But Pete and I love Union gold lines because we saw so many of them in our childhood. I've told the stories many times about the ones I tried to buy and the ones I successfully bought. Yep. What else was I going to say? So these first 2 are some of the cleanest that we have found. They are from 79. I forgot to look when we tested the first one. And I got to go back and look at the videos. I'm not sure if I've looked at the serial number in all of the ones that we videoed. I want to get a timeline together. What are the earliest ones that are pointed? Because the first gold lines, Union gold lines, were round motor. Those are like 76, 77. Yeah. I want to know what was the first year of the pointed. And what was the first year of the Taiwan? I think we figured out the first year of the Taiwan was like 83, maybe?
Yeah, because the thing is, the ones, the Taiwan, they still had the bell canopies. Some of them did. There
were some early ones where they clearly had some leftover bell canopies that they were putting on there.
But then they switched to what there is on there today.
Yeah, the plunger canopy. Yeah, I've never figured that out, because even the paint is a different color on the bell canopies. But we've seen them in too many different installs for it to be coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take this one through the paces.
Okay, 0 to high.
0 to high. We know it's gonna have a big inrush.
Yep.
Oh, this one draws way more than the other one yesterday. This is a 1 amper. Okay. Which would make sense given the year that it's from.
It's still gonna
But
drop.
It's so weird that the other one is are these labeled 1 amp, or are they labeled, well, go look right there. There's one right there.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, because this is drawing about 0.93. I suspect it's labeled 1 amp, but you tell me.
Okay. Nope, 0.98.
Okay, so this is a 0.9er. Power factor of 1. Is this one about the same speed as, well, we can measure. So Pete is better at the tack here than I am, or at least than I was yesterday. Granted, when I was testing yesterday, I was trying really hard not to exert myself because today's my long work day, and I didn't want to like have to get up at 6 or 7 a.m. and be sore. So it could have been me being a little on the, but Pete did a good job. Pete got it. So yesterday's was like 288. Okay, so you divide 891 by, that's going to be about the same as yesterday, right? That's going to be a little faster than yesterday.
Yeah.
You got your phone? I'm too, so it's going to be just under 300, but how much under 300 we will determine.
That was similar to my Union, the one I found at Waukesha.
Yeah.
891 divided by 3. 297, so just shy of 300.
So it's a little bit fast. It seemed faster than the one yesterday. Have we measured one that tested above 300? Something to come back to.
I think your other two Coles, ones that ran beautifully, pretty much.
Yeah.
Ran maybe a hair higher.
Okay, but the 300 range is pretty typical.
Yeah, but yeah, the other two there that run real fast, those,
yeah.
I mean, those are just insane.
Yeah.
And my Union one down there, I just am curious about the capacitor, just to make
Never
sure.
hurts. And even if the capacitor tests good, if the fan is performing weird, you can always change it. There are rare occasions when a capacitor can test good and still be bad. So I sometimes, if a fan is acting weird, I sometimes will swap the capacitor even if it's testing good.
Yeah.
You know, capacitors are cheap, so what's the harm? Okay, so
Decade.
yes. Well, these the one yesterday started on 4. Where do you want to say where do you think this one's gonna start?
I'm gonna go for 5.
I'll go with 4 again then.
All right.
4 was good to me yesterday.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nope.
No, Pete might have this one.
5.
Yeah, it's interesting. The one yesterday, again, Union's quality control just wasn't good. So, but it is odd that there would be 2 from the same installation around the same time that would behave so differently.
Right, but you know, like the one Coles I didn't replace the cord on.
Yeah.
That one was like 250 RPM.
Yeah, I always thought that one.
Yeah, the other 2 I tested
Yep.
just for grins. Yeah, over 300.
Yeah, I always figured that one was damaged from the water, but maybe it was just a factory.
Yeah,
you know.
as you were saying, they're inconsistent.
Did it draw more or less current, the slower one?
A little bit less, about the same as that one.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's just a Union thing. I think it's just
Yeah,
this
I
is
was
you
gonna
know.
say it drew pretty much what that one.
We
did.
know that Joseph Lau didn't care too much about fans. He just cared about making money and being kind of a jet setter, playboy type.
Mobster.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah, my if you're curious, watch my workbench video on Joseph Lau. He is I think
6.
he's a little bit of the Donald Trump of the fan industry.
8.
Okay, do me a favor and don't like rush through the numbers that aren't 8, 12, and 20. I know those are your favorite, but just in case we have to use it on a different control, let's just get a pretty good basis.
Well, I kind of know.
I know, but just in case the 8, 12, 20 is not an option, it's good to know how it's, you know, or for somebody watching, maybe they haven't seen it before.
Okay.
That's an 8?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. See, this is.
Beautiful.
Mine does the same thing.
Yeah, this performs about how a lot of the .9ers perform. This is pretty standard for a .9er.
Oh yeah.
My camera dropped, but we're good though.
12. Okay, so this is what I get on 12 for a low medium, because thing is, I get almost like that perfect range, like a solid state control, but stepped.
Pete's not wrong. 8, 12, 20 is the perfect range for these.
Because you get all of the speeds that you would get on a solid state.
Yep.
Like you get your low. This is like grocery store low is what I see these as.
Yeah.
Centrifuges.
Yeah? You ever seen a centrifuge with gold lines?
No.
Neither have I. I've seen some with newer gold lines, but they were replacements.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they had originally had all tats or all caraways or something.
HRSs. Those caraways are really HRSs.
Gotcha. Well, the ones that I got out of a Century was actually labeled caraway.
Yeah, I got some labeled that too, but they're really the same as my one back there.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the flat motor ones, like the
Yeah.
one that's right there in the loft.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, the previous pick and save in Menominee Falls, the current one has gold lines,
Yeah.
new ones, but the previous one, it's right cornered from Fleet Farm.
Uh-huh.
It's now a Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
But that one had those.
Had those. Yeah. No,
And they were painted blue and painted turquoise. Or with the ceiling, just like the gold lines in the current one are painted that desktop brown.
Yeah.
That's what they painted the ceiling. So here's 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. The other thing I was going to say, the union in there, even though on 8, it was a hair faster than this one.
Gotcha.
So it also behaved a little differently.
Yeah.
Still, the 8, 12, 20 still works well with it.
Yeah.
But the 8 was just a hair faster.
In hindsight, when I put the ones in the organ shop, I should have either put 8, 12, 20s or I should have put solid state. At the time, I was like, it can't make any noise at all, and so I didn't want solid state because even the slightest bit of noise was too much to me, which is crazy because it's a workshop. Who cares if there's a little bit of noise? But that was just my thought process at the time, and then I loved aesthetic lows, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna get I want the slowest low I can, but that's just not practical. 8, 12, 20 would have been better. In fact, I rarely use them on the slowest speed, so, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, you live and learn.
Other thing too, get this, when I installed these tats here, I never adjusted the low trim in that. It was just very
well, if you notice from that case of controls we got, they claim that the low speed trim is adjusted at the factory. There's like a little seal over the low speed trim that says it's been factory calibrated, which is kind of funny because every motor is going to be a little different. So what are they factory calibrated for? But it does appear that some companies do try to set it where it would be a practical speed.
I'm just saying, when I installed these tats, I've never even touched the low trim in that control because it just was coincident that they came out like this off the bat, and I'm like, I don't need to adjust this. It's perfect. Okay, this is 20, so if I show you hitting high, the difference, you'll see quite a difference. So there's definitely your low, medium.
This video is a commercial for the 81220 control. We should add that to our list of sponsors. The 81220 control company. I don't even know what company makes them. Ryan Electronics, maybe?
I think so.
But
it's those slider controls.
Yeah, well, but the slider controls come in a bunch of different values. I'm not sure if all the companies that make them make
21.
Yeah.
25. I think.
I don't think it goes over, but let's see.
I'm just going up to 30.
No, we're still a ways away.
32, 35.
Still a ways away.
I'm just going to max it out. I thought
We
I
did
never
not
went
go
over
over
on the other one either. I'm
Nope.
maxed out.
You did not go over on the other one. You did not go over on this one. So here's the real test is the solid state.
Oh,
the other one was dead silent, which was a bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
You want to see if we can use our sponsor to very gently stop those blades, or you want to worry about it?
I would rather
Okay,
not do
okay,
this video.
okay.
Not with this one.
Okay.
So, for this one, I'm going to turn them all off for a
Yeah.
second.
I think we'll add that to our list of sponsors, the 81220 company.
It's not like Lutron or whatever.
Lutron, Levitron,
Or whatever.
Levalier. There's a bunch of different companies that make controls that sound similar.
Yep. Okay. Let's see if I can get that bit beat.
Yeah, it stopped.
Okay, solid state.
Gold line 1, Pete 0. That's what I thought it was at first, and then I figured out what it was. It's a can opener.
Yeah.
So far, this one's dead silent.
Oh yeah.
It's not dead silent anymore, but it's still...
It's about like my blender fan.
It's borderline on the line between silent and bedroom quiet. That is beautiful.
Wow.
Wish Pete liked these, because we have so many things we could do with them, but, you know. I gotta figure out what Pete's most hated fan is so I can claim. Do you have a most hated fan? Like, of a fan that collectors might have? Not just like a generic, not just like, oh, Hampton Bays or something like that, or Littleton's, or, you know.
Ooh, I don't know about specific.
No.
But it's in general, like Heritage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go after.
See if you can think of like a specific model that you like really don't care for some specific reason that like other collectors like.
Just kind of many, and it's usually those young kids that.
Well, not like a young kids one. I'm talking about like a more vintagey one that you just don't like for some reason.
Ooh,
I just need something to give you a hard time with, is all. So we'll see what we can come up with. Like, what would you do for me? Like, what do you think is of the vintagey collectory fans? What was one that I just dislike for no apparent reason?
I thought you didn't like the K63 Victorians.
I don't know why you'd think that. I love K63 anything.
You were more in favor of the Zephyrs.
I mean, Zephyrs first, but I love K63 Victorians. I don't hate them for sure. I'll come up with something, though. We'll come up with something. There's going to be something we don't like.
I know you don't. I thought you didn't really like Fasco heat cyclers either. But
I put it this way. I never would have bought one if I hadn't started putting fans in the museum. It's not a fan I would have had in my own collection. And then once I started putting fans in the museum, I'm like, well, the museum needs one of those. And then when you and I started working together and I knew you liked them, I was like, well, I know Pete likes these. So I got the version that I liked the most, which is the parlor vents and brown. Because then, then we would have some that I liked the most. But anyhow, so that's all for this, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so let's thank our sponsors. First of all, patreon.com/dspiffy, where you can hear Pete and I arguing some more. Our sponsors are Fanstick.
Yes.
You gonna show Fanstick?
Yes.
Fanstick. Oh, somehow it always ends up upside down. Fanstick, Lightstick, Taco Burrito Mexico, the Good Manufacturing Company, and the A1220 Company. So how can they support our sponsors, Pete?
Well, buy fans.
Buy Fanstick. Thanks for watching.